Good morning, colleagues. It's a pleasure to welcome you to this workshop on formative and summative assessments designed specially for secondary school teachers. I believe that you all know me, Chua Chin Chin. Over the session, we'll explore how assessments can be powerful tools to enhance teaching and learning in our Malaysian classrooms. Today's session is not just about theory, it's about practical strategies you can implement immediately. We'll cover the key differences between formative and summative assessments, alternative assessment methods to engage diverse learners, and hands on activities to help you design effective assessments. By the end, you will leave with resources like rubrics, feedback templates, and digital tools. Let's begin by understanding why assessments matter and how they shape student success. Before diving in, let's see what we aim to achieve today. Number one, understand the differences. Assessment aren't one size fits all. Formative assessments, like quick quizzes, guide learning in the moment, while summative assessments, like final exams, evaluate mastery at the end of academic year. We'll compare their roles and impacts. Next, we will explore types and applications of these assessments, whether it's a gamified quiz or a student portfolio. Each method serves a unique purpose. We analyze which tools work best for different subjects and learning goals. Then is to design effective assessments. You will learn how to create assessments that align with curriculum standards while fostering critical thinking. For example, how a well crafted rubric can turn a subjective project into a fair evaluation. After that, we will practice hands on activities. We tackle a case study in groups. There, you will design an assessment for a real classroom scenario. Why does this matter? Because when we assess thoughtfully, we don't just measure learning, we drive it. Imagine a student who struggles with traditional tests but thrives in a project based assessment. Our goal is to meet every learner's needs while maintaining academic rigor. The key topics to be covered in the workshop are formative assessment, summative assessment, alternative assessment. We will touch definition and purposes of each assessment. The designs and interactive activities will be covered in the workshop too. From the workshop, teachers will learn to differentiate the assessment types, identify appropriate assessment types for subjects and students, create actionable assessment templates. Teachers will be more confident after obtaining practical tools for assessment design. Now, let's define our key terms. Formative assessments are the check ins of teaching. They are ongoing, informal, and designed to improve learning in real time. They are like doctors' regular health checks. Doctors will find out patients' health condition through health checks, whereas teachers check students' performance in each lesson with formative assessments. They will at once know whether the students understand the concept with formative assessments. Formative assessments serve some purposes. They help to monitor student learning. You can track students' progress at the end of the lesson with formative assessments. Next, They provide continuous feedback to teachers and students. This helps students to see their weaknesses and areas which need to improve. From formative assessment, teachers can identify the students' learning gaps. So, it enables teachers to highlight the areas where students need extra support or clarification. Formative assessment also help us to adjust our teaching methods accordingly. This kind of assessment encourages students' engagement. Some key characteristics of formative assessments are they are low stakes, they are rarely graded, so they can reduce students' anxiety on exams. Next, they are feedback focused instead of result oriented. A simple traffic light system, such as red, yellow, and green, allows students self report their understanding of the lesson. They are adaptable too. If 80% of the class stumbles on a quiz question, you know you got to reteach that concept. But formative assessments aren't perfect. They require time to design the assessments. Teachers need to be creative in designing assessment too. It is time consuming and brain cracking at times. Now, let's contrast this with summative assessments. Summative assessments are the formal evaluation. Think SPM, end of term exams or final projects. They answer, did students achieve the learning goals? Their strengths are that they are accountable as they help stakeholders to analyze based on the data of assessments. They are evaluated fairly against the same criteria. But some limitation, some limitations exist too. There is one short pressure. A student might underperform due to test anxiety, but not lack of knowledge. Moreover, these kind of assessments have got delayed feedback. By the time results come in, the class has moved on. This brings us to alternative assessments. Alternative assessments break the mold of traditional tests. They are ideal for nurturing creativity, collaboration, and real world skills. While carrying out alternative assessments, students may have a project to complete. They need to organize their work in a creative way, or they may want to have collaborative discussion on their work and complete this project in group. This helps to promote teamwork spirit. The most significant element of alternative assessments is their real-world relevance. Often, students need to apply various skills to complete work, and these skills are useful when they step into the future world after schools. Alternative assessments are holistic because they cover broader range of skills, as mentioned before. They are engaging too, as students got to participate actively throughout the learning process. Alternative assessments are personalized. They allow students to display their comprehension in various ways. For example, a kinesthetic learner can perform his science project by building a mini solar panel light instead of submitting an essay on his idea. Alternative assessments focus on real world applications and provide continuous feedback to students to improve. Some examples of alternative formative assessments are gamified quizzes, self assessment, and peer assessments. Gamified quizzes apply game elements to promote active learning. Some of the fun elements are like competitions and leaderboards. It's fun and students gain sense of accomplishment when they manage to complete the task. This indirectly motivates students to learn more. These are some examples of gamified quizzes. Kahoot, Quizzes, and Gymkit. Other examples that are not shown here are like WordWorld, Duolingo, and so forth. These are some resources to help you design quizzes. And the next one is a tutorial on how to create quizzes. I hope it helps you. The next alternative formative assessment is self-assessment. As its name suggests, it's a self-reflective process on students' own performance or progress. It helps students to analyze their own strengths and weaknesses. There are numerous examples to these assessments, but I will only share three examples here. The first one, rubrics and checklists. They provide clear criteria to students to assess their work. For instance, students can rate their own essays by checking on its contents, organization, and grammar. The next one is reflective journals or blogs. Students write reflections or blogs to reflect what they have learned, the obstacles faced in the lesson, and what can be done to improve themselves. The last example is SWOT analysis. In SWOT, S means strengths, W means weaknesses, O means opportunities, and T refers to threats. Through SWOT analysis, students analyze what they have done well, their weak points that need to be improved, how to improve, and what makes them difficult to learn. These are the resources and samples of self assessments. The next alternative formative assessment that I'm going to share is peer assessment. In this assessment, students evaluate each other's work in a group or class. These kinds of assessments encourage students to have critical thinking skills. Students need to justify when they evaluate others' work contribution. Students have to give constructive feedback on their peers' work. Eventually, they learn from each other as they can see how other learners demonstrate their work, their strengths and weaknesses. The examples shared here are feedback sections, group evaluation, and anonymous peer review. In the first example, students review peer work by providing structured feedback. Their peer work can be essays, lab reports, and artwork. In group evaluation, group members assess each other's work. This can be done by using Google Forms to ease the work of assessments and collection of data. The last assessment requires students to have blind review, which means reviewers' name will be hidden from knowledge. This encourages more honest reviews. Over here, Google Forms or LMS platforms can be applied to increase the efficiency of rating. These are some resources and examples of peer assessments. For alternative summative assessments, portfolios, final projects, and presentations are often used. Portfolios are a collection of students' work to demonstrate their academic progress. This assessment can be assigned for any subjects like arts, language, geography, history, and so on. These links give you some ideas and guidelines on what and how to present portfolios. Final projects such as papers and case studies are good to help students synthesize their learning. Final projects evoke students who have creative and critical thinking skills. They need to present projects in an interesting and attractive manner. They need to apply problem solving skills and have in depth thinking in the process of doing final projects. Some ideas of final projects are given here for the reference. The most popular alternative summative assessment is presentations. Students got to present their findings to teachers or peers in the classrooms or on digital screens like what I'm doing now. Presentations encourage students to perform public speaking or oral skills, so indirectly, they can boost their communication skills. Let's put this into practice with our group activity. Now it's your turn. In groups, discuss the pros and cons of one alternative assessment. Consider its practically. How would this work in your classroom? Next, equity. Does it favor certain learning styles? After 15 minutes, each group will share key takeaways. Finally, thank you for your patience today. Assessments are more than grades, they are conversations about learning. Feel free to contact me for further support. Let's transform assessment together.